Pesach Bezat Hashem is in less than a month. Got to start getting ready. 30 days before the holiday, got to start learning. So we got to start preparing spiritually and physically. People are already starting to scrub their drawers and their houses. There's a lot what to learn. Very, very, very sophisticated holiday. This is not a holiday that you just buy some Hamantashes and you finish with it. It's one of the few holidays that's the mitzvot of Deoraita. And not only that the severity here is that the Isurim here are Isurei Karet. So we got to really know what we're doing here. The Arizal says that a person who's very cautious from Chametz in Pesach, he's guaranteed that throughout the year he will not sin. Of course, he's referring to Beshogeg, by mistake, but that's also a lot. And he actually says 7 days of Pesach. If you're extremely cautious not to see, not to own, not to eat anything, then you have a guarantee from the Arizal. This is a pretty good guarantee. So we definitely want to know what needs to be done. There's a lot of halachot to learn, especially.
I thought about that. I think he's referring to spiritual comments.
To?
Spiritual comments. You see some people are absolutely meticulous about real comments, but a week later they
that's no
even during Pesach.
Yeah, that's no doubt at all. Thanks for bringing that up. Arizal, first he is talking about the physical chametz, but you're right, he's also talking about the spiritual chametz. That's really the main preparation we want to have before Pesach. Is that yes, we want to clean the floor and kasher our food. Then that's no question here. But the real preparation is getting rid of our own chametz, our own ego, our own yeshut, our own desires. And needless to say, this is a very unique holiday. You do your preparation the right way, you are guaranteed on the night of Leil Seder. All you need to do is follow the Seder night and you get a shine from the Or Ganuz, from a very high level light on that night. So there's no question that simultaneously has to be a spiritual preparation and a physical preparation. Yesterday I gave a class here for the ladies about the spiritual preparation. And Bezat Hashem will go online in the next day or two, which has a very solid layout. How do I spiritually prepare for Pesach? Getting rid of my chametz. And mainly, what I need to do is to start preparing to leave Mitzrayim. My spiritual and emotional Mitzrayim is that I'm dependent on things. They call it in our generation an addiction. And people are addicted to severe things such as drugs and alcohol and gambling and many others. And people are addicted also to cigarettes and cookies and Facebook and their phone and selfies. And people are addicted, unfortunately now, people are addicted to many things. A more correct way to say is they're just limited. They're stuck in a limitation. Or we would call it that they're under the control of the klipa. And you have to break out of this klipa. You have to go out of it. And the addictions can be in even your 17 cups of coffee or the bar of chocolates, and people are addicted to video games and whatever, TV shows, Facebook. So this is a state of limitation. Something limits me. Now I want to go out of my limitation. This is Pesach. Pesach is going out of your limitation. But nevertheless, all starts in the physical world. You apply to the physical world, you're able to also start scratching the spiritual world. But nevertheless, we're going to start learning simultaneously both the physical and the spiritual. Today we'll start with the physical. So in Pesach there are 8 mitzvot. They're all mitzvot deoraita. 3 of them are mitzvot aseh and 5 of them are mitzvot lo ta'aseh. And the order is as follows. Shelo lechol chametz beyom yudaled michatzot hayom velamala. Not to eat chametz from the 14th day of Nisan, from the chatzot hayom, the middle of the day, 6 hours after dawn, and after. The second mitzvah, levaer chametz min haolam michatzot hayom velamala. I have to burn the chametz from the world. I have to, well, it doesn't say burn. Levaer means to remove. the chametz from this world, again, from chatzot of the day, the middle of the day and above. Gimel, shelo yireh chametz kol shiva, I can't see chametz the entire week. Shelo yimatzeh chametz kol shiva, I can't own and have in my possession chametz for the whole 7 days. This is referring to Eretz Israel. If you're in America, in the diaspora, it's 8 days. And number 5, shelo le'echol chametz kol shiva, not to eat chametz the entire week. I'm going to skip number 6, go to 7 and 8, then we'll go back to 6. Number 7, le'echol matzah belel tetvav b'Nisan, to eat matzah on the 15th day of Nisan. This is a mitzvah d'oraita. And hey, and chet, the eighth one, לספר ביציאת מצרים באותו הלילה. To say the miracle of יציאת מצרים that night. This is a mitzvah. Now number 6 is long, because it's broken into parts in it. שלא לאכול כל שבעה תערובת חמץ שיש בו כזית בכדי אכילת פרס. מה תערובת? I can't eat any type of mixture of chametz, not actual chametz. Actual chametz is literally eating the bread. I can't eat anything that is mixed in it, chametz, in any type of a way that has a quantity of kezait. We learned that. Have beer. Exactly. And not only beer, it can be even a cookie, not a cookie, some of those poison bags, how do you call them? Like the treats. They also sometimes mix what? The poison bags, you know, the little bags that disturb, they also sometimes have chametz in it. Some of them is very obvious, can be a pretzel. Some of them can be just some, they come in all sorts of weird shapes. And half a kilo of MSG. And then people wonder why they have twitches and all sorts of other things. But nevertheless, sometimes they also have chametz in. This is a ta'arovet. Ta'arovet is a mixture. It can be in many different types of a way. Because the wheat and the grain is used many times to glue food together. Glue, I mean, starch, yeah, many things. This is called a ta'arovet. But it has to have bo kezait. And אף על פי שבאכילת התערובת אין תואמים כלל המתאה על החמץ בתוכו, even though there is in this mixture, you don't even taste the חמץ, ואין נותנים בתוכו את החמץ אלא לקיוה בעלמא, and you don't put the חמץ here only to like glue it or to give it some type of a structure, שמפררים בתוכו פירורי לחם, sometimes you just sprinkle it, some crumbs in it, כדי להחמיצו, שאין בקותח טעם הלחם אלא חמיצות הלחם מחמיץ את הקותח. Different types of foods that you mix a little bit of wheat in it or grain just to give it some not structure but it will be strong. Nevertheless, בשאר איסורים אין כאן איסור מן התורה אלא בחמץ בפסח החמירה התורה ואמרה כל מחמצת. The איסור from the Torah is actual chametz, but the mixture, the ta'arovet, this is called machmetzet. Machmetzet lo tuchelo. Anything that will have type of leaven in it. Ve'afilu ta'arovato. Even the ta'arovet, the mixture in it. But, אבל כרת אינו חייב, אלא אם כן יש בתערובת טעם חמץ. Only what is 100% חמץ, or the flavor of חמץ will be an איסור כרת, and if it's just a mixture, and it would be like a chumrah, there's not going to be any isur karet. Which, in Pesach you have to be very careful because the isurim here are karet. And isur karet means to chop off, to cut off. We just read yesterday, the day before yesterday in Shabbat, we finished the parasha about the prohibitions of Shabbat. And what do we read there? Person who desecrates Shabbat, v'ticharet hanefesh ha'im me'amea. The nefesh gets cut off. So this is not a joke. People don't take the isurei karet in the right measurement. To do a tshuva for karet, it's not so easy. But nevertheless, if it's a mixture, not always will be an isur karet, unless it has the taste of the chametz. כמו בשאר איסורים, as the other prohibitions, and Nevertheless, this is the more important part that we're going to learn a lot of it, because if I have now a pot or a dish or whatever it is, and I cooked in it and it swallowed the taste of chametz, then it's not an actual chametz, but it has the taste of the chametz in it. And that's what it's referring to. It's not referring to eating now a piece of bread. It's referring to eating something that has the flavor of chametz. If it has the flavor of chametz, that also will be a isur d'oraita. It's not a mixture. It's something that has a taste of chametz. That's why most people, they will have their vessels that they're using, they have designated just for Pesach. We have here, and you'll, Be'ezrat Hashem, you're going to see in a few weeks, we have here in the storage, I have an oven, it's a Pesach oven. I take out the oven from throughout the year and pack it, and there's an oven that I just use for Pesach. That oven never even saw or tasted such a thing as chametz. And the second the Pesach leaves, the oven goes out of its place, wrapped up, sealed completely. That's it. That's the best way of doing it. Our plates are just for Pesach. We have boxes that everything is Pesach. No even point of koshering things. Why even take the chance? Nevertheless, these are the 8 mitzvot that we have to do on Pesach. Some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them will take much more time to learn more about them, because Pesach is a severe thing. It says the Torah echmira bechametz. The Torah went out of its way to give the prohibitions of chametz. Shechiva leashbito kodem haPesach. The Torah is ordering you to get rid of it before Pesach. Ve'ezira alav beval yireh uval yimatzeh. And he has a zahara, warning from the Torah that not only did you not allowed to eat it, you can't own it, you can't see it. Ve'asra be'anah, and you have a prohibition from the Torah, you can't have any benefit from the chametz. Ve'onsha al achilato onesh karet hachamor. The punishment of eating, owning, and so forth is a severe punishment of karet. V'chen amru chachamim chametz asur b'mashu. Our sages have added chametz asur even when it's not actual chametz. Also when it has the taste of chametz, has any type of connection to chametz. מה שאין כן בשאר מאכלות אסורות, אין חומרות אלו. In any other types of prohibited food, they don't have that severity. Excuse me. לפיכך קיבלו ישראל על עצמם חומרות יתרות בפסח. Therefore, we have taken on ourselves much more extra cautious, we call it a chumrah, an extra measure on Pesach, כדי להרחיק עצמם מחשש חמץ. In order to not even come to even the opportunity of maybe chametz have touched something here. The Baal HaTanya says in his Shulchan Aruch, it's called Shulchan Arav, Israel kedoshim hem, the nation of Israel are holy. ונוהגים להחמיר על עצמם. They take on themselves extra measures of being cautious. וגוררים כל החמץ הנמצא, anything that they have חמץ in their possession, אפילו משהו, even what it is, a fork. והוא דבוק בבית, and it's touched חמץ at some point. או בכלי, ומחמירים עוד לגרור הספסלים. Even their benches, their tables, everything. I mean, people go crazy on Pesach. The kisaot, the chairs, the ktalim, the tabletops, anything that chametz touched it in any type of a way, that has to be either cleaned in the best way possible or completely removed.
Wait, you said the toilet was on that list? The kiseh?
No, kiseh like a chair.
Okay, I'm like...
No, the toilet. No need to go so fanatic, but a chair like this. I mean, I can tell you already that these chairs, all chametz fell on them at some point, because people eat here all the time. Now, I'm not eating the chair, but I will still take this chair, and I have, how do you call it? This high pressure...
pressure washer.
Yeah, not steamer, it's a pressure water. And we pressure everything. We wash the chairs and we wipe them well. Why? Because chametz touched it. Now, yes, I'm not eating the chair. I don't have a problem with the chair, but something touched it. Some people go to the extreme that on Pesach they will peel all the vegetables and fruit. People peel their tomatoes. Why? Because maybe in the warehouse it was close to a bag that had some flour and chametz touched the tomato. People peel all the fruits and vegetables. So nevertheless, לכן כבר בימים בשבועות שלפני פסח נמצאים בתי ישראל בעיצומם של עבודות הניקוי והכשרתם לפסח. We find that weeks already before Pesach, people roll their sleeves and they start kashering the entire house. על גודל הקדושה שיש בהכשרת הבית וחלב לפסח נוכל ללמוד גם מסיפורו של אדמו"ר המהר"ש. There's many different stories, Hasidic stories of how people took it to such an extent that needless to say, what blessing it brought on themselves, and we take it very seriously. We don't take it lightheaded, and not only that, we have to understand that the earlier you start, the better. You can't leave it for the last 3 days. Then it's too much pressure to do that. Now, before we really start, we have to understand what is chametz. There's a big question here. Chametz is gar'inei tvuah, the seeds of any type of crops, that is wheat or barley or any type of the grains, but even the actual the seed itself. This is also chametz. Or kemach shel chameshet minei dagam, or wheat, flour of the 5 grains. Chitim, seorim, kusmim, shibolet, shual, v'shifon. There are 5 grains, and when you crush the grain and you take flour out of it, this is chametz. And in order, exactly, that's exactly what I was about to read. That's the flour out of this grain, shebao b'maga im mayim, that came in contact with water. ושהו אחר כך מבלי שיעסקו בהם כ-18 דקות. Not only that it touches water, has to pass 18 minutes. So if water touched it and right away you removed it and wiped it and removed the piece that touched, no problem. Has to be in contact with water, and not only contact with water, that nothing was done with that mixture for at least 18 minutes. יש להם דין חמץ. Then they have the judgment, the status of chametz. Chametz asur ba'achila u'be'anah. I'm not allowed to eat chametz, and I'm not allowed to have any type of pleasure or benefit from the chametz. Selling it, giving cigars, chametz. I can't bribe anyone with my chametz, and this is called hana'ah. וכן אסור להשרותו ברשותו של ישראל במשך כל ימי חג הפסח. Not only that, I'm not allowed to have possession of chametz throughout the week of Pesach, which means I'm not allowed to have in my house chametz that I own. I mean, I can sell it, but I'm not allowed to, it can be in my possession. אפילו שהוא מעורב בדבר אחר, even if that chametz is mixed with something else. ולכן כל תוצרת שיש בה משהו מקמח דגן, דינה חמץ. Therefore, anything that has some type of a mixture of one of the grains, of the flour of one of the grains, the din of that thing is chametz. Din means the status of it. והמנהג לאסור גם אכילת קטניות. And here is already a minhag. Some people go by it, some people don't go by it. Some about eating legumes. Legumes you say? Or lugumi? Legumes. This is called kitniot. Some people are strict and they don't eat legumes. Some people do it. This is already, each person has their own minhag. It's important to know this is a minhag, it's not a halacha. Although minhag is a custom, although our sages say minhag Israel Torahu, a minhag that you take on yourself is like Torah, but you have to consult your rabbi, whatever opinion you hold by, if you're eating or you're not eating. Now, there's another concept that we also have to take to consideration. It's called a kli chametz. And that would be any type of a vessel that has the status of chametz. Because if I cooked now in my oven and in a pyrex, in a dish, bread, and now it swallowed the taste of the chametz, now this pyrex, this dish, will be now have a taste of chametz. I now take a pan and I fried in it breaded cold cuts. Not cold cuts, chicken breast. They call schnitzel. Now fried. Not that I'm recommending to fry anything, but I'm just talking to the average individual that fries food. I don't even know who invented that, but nevertheless. What?
A genius.
Yeah, a genius. I think it was a mistake. I think, it was just the oil was bubbling and something fell in. Oh my God, and then took it out. Ooh, that is good. So, but nevertheless, if you're already frying something, so for the sake of the example, I'm frying a breaded chicken breast in a pan, and the pan now will absorb the taste of the chametz. Now the pan has a status, a din of chametz. This is called kli chametz. כיוון שאסור חמץ, הוא אף במשהו, I'm not allowed to own, eat, and see chametz, even in a level that is called משהו. משהו is a something. חמץ בכמות קטנה ביותר, even if it's a very very minor amount of חמץ. לכן אסור להשתמש בפסח בכלים שישתמשו בהם לחמץ. That's why I'm not allowed to use pots, pans, cutlery, plates, anything that was used with it for chametz during the year. היות והכלים בלו מהחמץ, because these utensils, they swallowed the taste of chametz. ונוהגים להשתמש בכלים מיוחדים לפסח. Now what do? We either buy plates, pots and pans that are designated only for Pesach. That's the best. And some people, what they do is they use nowadays all the disposable things, which that will be only good for plates and knives and forks, but you don't have a disposable pan. But nevertheless, the best is just to buy a set just for Pesach. ומי שאין לו כלים מיוחדים, now what happens if I don't have? That's it costs a lot of money. It's buying another kitchen. It costs a lot of money. So even though it's an investment that stays with you for the rest of your life, but what if you don't have? And I want to use these plates or whatever it is, and forget about that. Sometimes you have an oven. Not everybody has the ability to buy another oven. Or forget about the ability. Sometimes where to put it. Where am I going to put the oven? I can buy an oven, but after Pesach, where am I going to put it? I don't have a storage. Now sometimes it's not so simple. You have a stove top. I mean, now a lot of people, they buy the electric stove. It's a piece of glass. You can't kosher that. That's it's not usable. Nevertheless, it depends, of course, which type of stove top. I take it back. Some of them you can kosher. But nevertheless, what happens? I don't want to buy everything brand new. Then, יבואר להלן בהלכות עגלה כיצד להכשירם לפסח. We're going to go through some of the rules. How do I kosher things for Pesach? And some people say, let me just buy everything because the headache of koshering everything, then it's not worth any amount. I used to kosher my kitchen in the beginning, in my early ages. This is a job. It's 3 days in the kitchen, and this is not an easy job. Now, how do you know you really did it good? I would kosher my oven, and I was OCD with it. I would kosher the oven. After 2 hours of koshering the oven, I'd be like, maybe I missed a spot. Maybe like a little spot I missed. Okay, kosher it again. Maybe I missed a spot. I would get so OCD there that at some point I would kosher the oven 3 times. So it's a problem. But nevertheless, there are ways to kosher most of the things, which we're going to learn in the future, B'ezrat Hashem. Now, there's another main definition here that we need to know. So we defined what is chametz, we defined what is a kli of chametz. There's another definition of the hours, because we just mentioned before that the biur chametz and the eating the chametz is from chatzot hayom. So this is an hour when Pesach is over. Now, I don't know why, I never understood that. Sometimes you see people, 32 seconds after Havdalah, they're already having a pizza. Like, okay, so you wait another hour. So you have to wait a certain amount of time, because the Rav that did the transaction of selling your chametz, he give him a chance to go to the person and buy the chametz back. If he didn't buy the chametz and you're already like an eagle jumped on the
the Rav has a person sitting right next to him and have
yeah, because he knows people are like I have to put something in my mouth. So, but nevertheless, we have to understand what are these hours. This is called שעות זמניות, the hours and the זמנים and the times. חישוב שעות אלו נזכרות להלן בהלכות חמץ וערב פסח, and לפי אורך היום. How do we calculate these hours? According to the length of the day. כגון בשנת העיבור, when the year is a leap year, היום ארוך, the day is longer. הרי כל שעה משעות אלה נחשבת שעה ורבע משעות בינוניות. When it's a leap year and the day is longer, then every hour, to my calculation, will be considered an hour and 15 minutes. שהם כ"ד למעת לעת. These are totaling 24 hours from one day to another. כי היום, the day itself, daylight, דהיינו מנצח חמה עד שקיעה. The day is not 24 hours, the day is 12 hours, and it's not exactly 12 hours. It's from netzach hama, from dawn, to shkiat hama, till the sun goes down. נחלק תמיד לי"ב שעות. It always will be divided into 12 hours. ובין שהוא ארוך ובין שהוא קצר, doesn't matter if it's a leap year or not, when it's a longer day or a shorter day. לפיכך אין לאכול חמץ אלא עד שליש היום. You can't eat חמץ till a third into the day. דהיינו שעתיים וחצי לפני חצות. Meaning 2.5 hours before חצות, when it's in a year of a leap year, שנת עיבור. ואין למוכרו לגוי אלא עד שעה ורבע לפני חצות היום. And you can't sell it till an hour and a quarter before midday, which is called חצות היום. This is less important to us because we don't work for the Beit Din. The Beit Din will tell you this is the hour and we just like good kids have to listen. That's it. But we still need to know the halacha, we need to know how it's done. I think we're going to leave it over here. And Bezrat Hashem, we're going to dedicate everyday time for learning about Pesach. There's a lot to learn. I think we'll do also the halacha class after Mincha also about Pesach. And probably about a week before Pesach, we'll start learning all the halachot of the Leil Seder itself, because I have found that most people, they don't even know what's going on during the Seder. They're totally clueless what's going on. And the Leil Seder, it's not a meal. That's why we eat at the end. And the Leil Seder is a mitzvah in itself, because the mitzvah is to say the miracle. You have to read the Haggadah, you have to do all the rituals, and it's not about a meal here. The meal comes at the end because there's a part. It's called Shulchan Orech. We have to eat something. But somebody not too long ago told me how they were invited to a Seder. He called it a Seder party. It's not a Seder party. It's a Leil Seder. But nevertheless, he made such a joke, I mean, in a funny way. He's like, first they brought me crackers. And then they brought me this, and he was saying it in such a funny way. He's like, what's going on with you guys? 3 hours, I was starving. And then finally, when they brought something out, it was like these dry crackers, and not to put something in it. That it was just funny to see how sometimes, how people see it from the outside. So, Bezrat Hashem, we should prepare the right way, so we should accept it the right way. Bezrat Hashem, this Pesach, we have a good chance to sacrifice Korban Pesach. This is another mitzvah that is, we didn't include that because we don't have Bet HaMikdash. But if we pray hard enough, we might be able to give a Korban Pesach this year, which is a mitzvah taseh deoraita.